If you do not pay attention to this, you will not have a successful destination wedding photography business. This is the #1 asset to mine and Jess's business, and it will become the #1 asset for yours. It's not a software, it's not an editing service, it's not how many likes I get on a photo, it's not how many weddings I have photographed, and it's not even how good my photos are. Those are all very important, but that is not what will make the difference in your business. Any guesses? The answer is people. People is the 4th of 5 pillars that will build your destination wedding photography business and build it well so you can do it for years and years and kill it at the destination wedding photography game. And when I say people, I'm talking about the actual relationships with vendors, with photographers, with your clients. Without people, you have no business. Without relationships, I have no business. So if you take anything out of this video today, people work with who they know, like, and trust. If someone knows you, they like you, and they trust you, they will work with you. They will hire you, they will refer you, they will talk about you, and it will make your business skyrocket. So let's dive in a little bit more about how to do that and with who. Relationships are massive. I want to boil it down to the 3 categories of people specifically for destination weddings that will allow you to have more business, to have the relationships you want, have the weddings you want. So let's begin with who. There's 3 categories today. 1, your clients, past, present, and future. 2, wedding planners. That includes venue coordinators. And 3, fellow photographers like you and I. Let's dive into #1, one of my favorites, your clients. How many weddings have you booked because a past client referred you to someone, or someone saw you at a wedding and you booked a wedding because of that? If your answer is 0, you're doing it wrong. And we can fix that right now, but you should be showing up on a wedding day and making it so fruitful that people want to hire you. And this one mindset shift is what changed the game for Jess and I years ago. Jess and I, to this day, we walk into a wedding and in our mind, our entire mindset is this: every guest at this wedding is my next client. I don't care if they're engaged, single, married, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, best friend, maid of honor, whatever it is. If I go into a wedding day, if you go into a wedding day thinking that every person I talk to in this wedding and interact with is my next client, it is going to shift how you treat people. It's going to shift how people perceive you, and you're going to start booking weddings because of that. And one of the things I'm really intentional about doing on the wedding day is during cocktail hour, when everyone's kind of mixing and mingling and Jess has finished family photos and we're just getting, those interactions, those candid photos, I intentionally go around and I target couples. Maybe they're mom and dad. I always get one of mom and dad. Maybe it's a bridesmaid and her date, whatever it is. You know the couples, they're having a drink together. You can feel it out. I always ask, hey, do you guys want a couple photos together? I find really good light. I take a few on my camera, I give them a few cues, and then I ask for their iPhone. I take a few on their iPhone, I give it to them. You would not believe how many weddings we have booked just because we took a few photos of them. Because us, it's super ordinary. I'm taking photos of people, it's what we do. But to them, most of the time, they've never had a photo taken together professionally, especially at a wedding, especially when they're dolled up. Jess and I booked a wedding in Portugal because of this. Pulled a couple aside, took a few photos of them, and when they inquired a few months later about their wedding in Portugal, they had said, I had never felt beautiful in photos before. I've never felt comfortable in front of the camera. But that little moment, I took my time, 30 seconds out of the day, booked me a wedding in Portugal. Imagine doing that times however many weddings you photograph, however many couples you photograph. It starts to turn. That's also a really good opportunity to say, hey, what's your Instagram? Trade information, and now they're following you. This is very powerful. Do it. Second category of people that you want to have relationships with in the wedding photography world is planners. In the photography space, I like to refer to them as hubs. Where are the hubs that all the weddings are coming from? Because they can be from individual people, but planners is kind of like that hotspot. Everyone has to go to a planner a lot of times before photographers. The hope and dream is always, we're the first person they call, and the more you do it and the better you get, that does happen. But planners also get contacted a lot because they're in charge of venues. They are referred to by friends. You want to be friends with planners. Now, there's a few methods around this, and I want to start by saying, again, reminding you, all the planners that I work with, they know us, they like us, and they trust us. Second, we don't work with every planner. We don't click with every planner. Not every planner's style matches with ours, but you only need 1 or 2 to start. And so when you're going through this, as I'm telling you these strategies to reach out to coordinators, to offer value and all these things, know that it's not gonna be 100% yes. But if you do this 100 times and you get one yes, one planner that loves you, you got your referrals right there. Now you might be thinking, yes, James, I know that. I know having a great relationship with the planner is kind of a game changer, but I don't even know where to begin. How do I do this? Let me dive into a few of my favorite strategies. Let's just say you're starting from scratch. You have no relationships with planners. This is what I would do if I was starting from scratch today. I would list out all of the planners that I dream to work with, and that includes the venues, because underneath every venue, there's an on-site coordinator who's in charge of all that. I would list those out, including venues, planners, dream planners, just the luxury ones, the ones in my market that I know of and we haven't worked together yet. That's what I would do first. I would list them out. Second, I would reach out to them. The more personable, the better. I would reach out to them, and you have to remember a few things when you're reaching out to them. One, this is not about you. Two, you must be offering value beyond a cup of coffee. I don't even respond to emails when they say, James, I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee and pick your brain. Thank you, but I make really good coffee at home. I can save the $3 and the time. I need something valuable, and you need to offer that, and you have to understand it's a numbers game, so the more you do this, the higher your odds go up. If it's more personable, everyone has different theories about DMing. I love DMing people. It's the closest you can get to texting someone if you don't have their number, and it just seems a little bit more relational. Strike up a conversation about whatever wedding they just did or whatever they're doing and offer value, whether it's headshots, whether it's, hey, next time you have an event and you need a photograph that you don't have a photographer for, I'm your girl, I'm your guy, whatever that looks like. It can also look like, hey, I am starting 2023 off by establishing relationships with my favorite people. Can I take you two to dinner? Or you and your husband to dinner? Or you and your team to dinner? It's investing. If you've ever read the book, The Go-Giver, he describes client relationships and service as giving your time. Your time and resources given creates reciprocity, and they want to return the favor to you. And that's kind of what a professional relationship starts like. And all of a sudden you find out you really like each other, and so you just start working together more. So once you list your people out and you start to reach out to them, repeat it. Feel it out, don't push. Don't be an asshole. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but photographers have this chip on their shoulder where they think everyone owes them things sometimes because they think they're so good. The newsflash is there's a lot of people out there. There are thousands of photographers out there who take really good photos. Coordinators are going to work with the ones they know, like, and trust. So if you can get on their good side, if you can actually start a relationship with them that's about serving them, your odds are gonna go up. And I know this is a cold call strategy. Let's just call it what it is. It's scary sending those DMs, it's scary sending those emails, but if you don't do that, someone else is out there listening to this video who's going to listen to this advice and do it and get those relationships. All you need is one yes from a planner that will start filtering you weddings. Times that over the years, and you kind of have hubs of referrals coming in. Nancy, one of my favorite photographers, she's a mastermind student of ours, a good friend of ours, her and her husband David, they live in Ohio. She weekly is telling me about the headshots she's taken, about the dinner she took planners out to, about the emails she's sending. Does she get canceled on sometimes? Yes. Does she get no's a lot? Yes. Does she get ghosted a lot? Yes. But has she had more connections with luxury planners than any photographer I know who I teach? Yes. And you better believe that's going to turn over. Last week, she just told me she booked her highest collection yet. And I know it's because the connections and the relationships she has. People refer her business, they like her. She's adding value to them and they want to work with her. So keep it up. The other strategy is when you do get that opportunity, whether reaching out, starting a relationship from scratch works, or say a client books you and you happen to be working with like a really great coordinator that you've always dreamed of working with. Make it count. Show up to serve. Not only treat everyone else like your next client, treat that coordinator like that's where your next wedding's coming from. Impress them, go above and beyond, go 150% of what you need to do. Start a relationship with them. Let them get to know you. Be good, let them like you, and that will turn into trust if you do this consistently and if you do it well. So now you have clients, you have planners and venue coordinators. The third relationship you should be paying attention to is fellow photographers. Jess and I literally get hundreds of inquiries a year. The most we've ever shot was last year. We shot 51 weddings. That was a lot. We really loved it. We usually prefer around 30 to 35 weddings. Of those hundreds, There's 2 reasons they don't book us. 1, we're unavailable. 2, we're outpriced. We shoot in a luxury market. Most weddings statistically aren't gonna be able to hire me, and that's okay. But the bummer to me is I want to serve more people. And guess who I send them to? Photographers who I know, who I like, who I trust. Jess and I have a mastermind of 7 photographers that we're teaching right now of how to have the best experience, how to do what we do more, how to elevate. And guess who I send all my referrals to? Those 7 photographers who are in all different price ranges, but who have the service that I taught, that I know, that I like, that I trust to hand off a photographer, that I trust to hand another client to, knowing that if I let go of that client and hand it to them, they're gonna be taken care of. That's a win-win. So what I want you to do right now for the photographer side of thing is you know the photographers. You know the photographers you look up to, you know the photographers that are on your level, and maybe you know the photographers that are like coming up to your level. And this isn't a game to judge the photographers, but you should just have a knowledge of who's in your game, who's playing the game with you, and what lanes they're in. So 2 things you can do. 1, reach out to the photographers you look up to and ask in a very same way you're reaching out, adding value. If they ever need a second shooter, say, I'm your guy, I'm your girl. I'm not even gonna charge you. I would love to photograph with you. Is there any opportunity this year that I can block off my schedule, serve you, serve those clients well, photograph this wedding with you? Do that enough, and if you click, remember you're not gonna click with everyone, but the ones that you do, that they know you, like you, and trust you, when they get a wedding inquiry, you're gonna be top of mind. The other thing you can do with fellow photographers who you feel like are in the same pool as you, connect with them. Maybe you're friends with photographers, great, low-hanging fruit. Maybe you're aware of these photographers, have them over, have a little event in your house, have a cocktail hour, go get happy hour and explain, hey, I get a lot of inquiries and I need someone that matches what I have, my service level and my style. Can I refer people to you? And if you do that, you can make it formal, you can make it informal, but the more you do that, imagine this now. Imagine now that 6 months from now, you have photographed a few weddings. You treated every couple at that wedding like your next client. Maybe that's a few hundred people. Maybe that's dozens of couples you've photographed. They know who you are. You've made friends with a few planners because you photographed a wedding that you really clicked with that planner. Also, one of the dozens of emails and DMs you sent connected with you. So now you're getting 1 or 2 weddings from them, and you have a group of photographers that refers you to one another. Your business could look drastically different in 3 to 6 months from now if you choose today to invest in those relationships. And that's why without people, you have no business, but with the right people, you have a flourishing, thriving business. And as my friend Natalie Frank says, community over competition. As in, we all think, oh, these weddings are gonna be taken up. No, they're not. There are thousands more weddings than photographers happening every day. Find the people, get those relationships, get those referrals, send those referrals, and watch your business thrive. And to sum it up, to quote Maya Angelou, she says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. You could take the most remarkable photos of someone, and they didn't feel good around you. They're not gonna refer you. But you could take the most remarkable photos of them, or maybe you're not at that remarkable level yet, but you could take good photos of someone and they loved your energy. You made them feel fantastic. They're gonna remember that far more than a good photo, and they're gonna wanna talk about you. Second, write down 1 planner you wanna reach out to and summon the courage to send them that DM, to start a conversation with them, see where that goes and see how you can serve them. And 3, write down the 1 photographer that you're gonna reach out to this week and reach out to them that you're gonna second shoot for. Or if you're not in like that second shooting place, find the photographer that you want to send referrals to. And if you get a wedding you can't, ask if you can refer them to it. Or just do it, connect them via email and see what happens. Next week, we're gonna be talking about the 5th pillar that really ties everything together. It's the 4 principles plus this 5th one is the glue that will consistently start to change your business, and it is a good one, and I cannot wait until then. In the meantime, know that you are capable of all of this. You are capable of great and amazing things. Write down this list, start making those relationships, show up to serve, and remember, people book who they know, like, and trust. I will see you in the next episode.